my goodness. It's the first grade. Where have you been? I have been waiting here to see all of you. Well, it's great to see you, even though you're at a distance, where you're staying safe and you're following the instructions of your moms and dads. That's what Miss Spinelli, and that's what Mrs. Metzinger, and that's what Father Mike would want you to do. But I thought that we would have a special treat. I miss seeing all of you. I'm here in your first grade classroom, and you know, as lovely as this room is, it's not the same without all of you in it. But thanks to modern technology, we have a chance to come together. Okay, and even though I can't see you, I know you can see me, so I thought I would share a story with you, okay? And I'm going to be moving just so you can see the room in different ways and be reminded of where you are learning here this year of first grade. Now, the story I'm going to share with you today is it's a letter that former President Barack Obama wrote to his two daughters, and it's called Of Thee I Sing. And this is what Father Mike would like to say to all of you. Have I told you that you're creative? A woman named Georgia O'Keeffe, and I'm going to show you a picture of her in just a moment. A woman named Georgia O'Keeffe moved to the desert and painted petals, bone, bark. She helped us see big beauty in what is small, the hardness of stone and the softness of feather. Let's take a look at Georgia O'Keeffe. So that's what Father Mike thinks. When he thinks about big beauty in what is small, he thinks about every one of the first grade. Have I told you that you are smart? That you braid great ideas with imagination? A man named Albert Einstein turned pictures in his mind into giant advances in science, changing the world with energy and light. Let's see a picture of Albert Einstein. I think there's an Albert Einstein or two in the first grade. Have I told you that you are brave? A man named Jackie Robinson played baseball and showed us all how to turn fear to respect and respect to love. He swung his bat with the grace and strength of a lion and gave brave dreams to other dreamers. Dreamers like each of the boys and girls in first grade. Here's a picture of Jackie Robinson. Have I told you that you are a healer? Sitting Bull was a Sioux medicine man who healed broken hearts and broken promises. It is fine that we are different, he said. For peace, it is not necessary for eagles to be crows. Though he was put in prison, his spirit soared free on the plains, and his wisdom touched the generations. This is a very creative, artistic rendering of Sitting Bull. You notice the buffaloes and the horses there making up his face. Have I told you that you have your own song? A woman named Billie Holiday wore a gardenia in her hair and sang beautiful blues to the world. Her voice, full of sadness and joy, made people feel deeply and add their melodies to the chorus. Let's see a picture of Billie Holiday. She was a beautiful singer. Have I told you, this is important, especially in these days, have I told you that you are strong? A woman named Helen Keller fought her way through long, silent darkness. Though she could not see or hear, she taught us to look at and listen to each other. Never waiting for life to get easier, she gave others courage to face their challenges. So this is a picture of Helen Keller, who was blind, and her teacher, Annie Sullivan. So you could imagine yourselves in that picture with Miss Spinelli. Have I told you how important it is to honor others' sacrifices? A woman named Maya Lin designed the Vietnam Veterans Memorial to remember those who gave their lives in the war, and the Civil Rights Memorial to thank the many who fought for equality. Public spaces should be filled with art, she thought, so that we can walk amidst it, recalling the past and inspired to fix the future. Now you're going to have to look very carefully at the picture of Maya Lin against one of the walls of the Vietnam Memorial. I hope you can see that. Have I told you that you are kind? In this year, when we're looking at all the Ignatian virtues, kindness is a very important Ignatian virtue. So have I told you that you are kind? A woman named Jane Addams fed the poor and helped them find jobs. She opened doors and gave people hope. She taught adults and invited children like you to play and laugh and let their spirits grow wide. So let's look at a picture of Jane Addams helping some people. Okay, we have a few more. Have I told you that you don't give up? Oftentimes when we experience hard times, difficult times, it's very understandable that people give up. And so while we have to wait so that we can remain safe before we come back to this wonderful school and your special classroom, we need to remind one another we're not the kind of people that give up. When violence erupted in our nation, a man named Martin Luther King Jr. taught us unyielding compassion. He gave us a dream that all races and creeds would walk hand in hand. He marched and he prayed, and one at a time opened hearts and saw the birth of his dream in all of us. Here's a beautiful picture of Dr. King. Have I told you that you are an explorer? A man named Neil Armstrong was the first to walk on the moon. He watched the world from way up high, and we watched his lunar landing leaps. He would bound on the surface of the moon. It was remarkable, which made us brave enough to take our own big, bold strides. And here's the artist's rendition of Neil Armstrong bounding on the moon. Make sure you're getting all the exercise you need. You should be exercising every day. Just because you're indoors doesn't give you an excuse, huh? Have I told you, each and every one of the first grade, that you're inspiring? A man named Cesar Chavez showed farm workers their own power when they felt they had none. The people were poor, but worked hard and loved the land. Caesar picketed, prayed, and taught. The people listened to their hearts and marched for their rights. Si se puede, Caesar said. Yes, you can. The first grade, I know you are can-do people. Have I told you that you are part of a family? A man named Abraham Lincoln knew that all of America should work together in good times and in challenging times like the ones we're experiencing right now. He kept our nation one and promised freedom to enslaved sisters and brothers. This man of the people, simple and plain, asked more of our country, that we behave as kin. Here's a picture of Abraham Lincoln. Okay. All right. Have I told you to be proud to be American? Our first president, George Washington, believed in liberty and justice for all. His barefoot soldiers crossed wintry rivers, forging ever on. He helped make an idea into a new country, strong and true, a country of principles, a country of citizens. Here's a picture of George Washington with his troops during winter. Have I told you that America is made up of people of every kind? That's also true of the first grade, isn't it? People of all races, religions, and beliefs. People from the coastlines and the mountains. People who have made bright light shine by sharing their unique gifts and giving us the courage to lift one another up, to keep up the fight, to work and build upon all that is good in our nation. This is a beautiful picture. Have I told you that they are all a part of you, each one of you? Have I told you that you are one of them and that you are the future? And have I told you that I love you all? Well, now I have. So Father Mike wants you to stay grateful, stay hopeful, and stay safe.